There was a time when gold couldn't feed you, silver couldn't preserve your food, but salt could decide who lived, who starved, and who ruled the world. Empires were built on it. Wars were fought over it. People were paid with it. And for thousands of years, salt wasn't just valuable, it was priceless. Today, it sits on your table, forgotten. But once, salt was worth more than gold. This is the story of how the most ordinary substance on earth became the foundation of power, money, and civilization itself. Why salt mattered more than gold. To understand why salt was more valuable than gold, you have to forget the modern world. No refrigerators, no freezers, no canned food, no global supply chains. Food didn't last weeks. It lasted days. Without salt, meat rotted, fish spoiled, vegetables decayed, armies starved, cities collapsed. Gold was beautiful. Salt was survival. Salt preserved food. Salt balanced the human body. Salt allowed people to live far from rivers and oceans. Without salt, there was no agriculture on scale, no cities, no empires. Gold could buy power. Salt created it. Salt as the first global commodity, long before iron. Long before money, salt was humanity's first global commodity. It was mined, traded, taxed, monopolized, and smuggled. Entire trade routes existed for one reason only: to move salt. In Africa, caravans crossed the Sahara carrying slabs of salt heavier than gold bars. In China, salt financed dynasties. In Europe, salt funded kings. In Rome, salt paid soldiers. Salt didn't just follow civilization. Civilization followed salt. The Roman Empire and salary. The word salary comes from the Latin word salarium. It literally means salt payment. Roman soldiers were paid partly in salt, or with money specifically allocated to buy it. Medieval Europe. Salt as a weapon in medieval Europe. Salt wasn't just taxed. It was weaponized. France imposed the gabelle, a brutal salt tax. Peasants were forced to buy a fixed amount of salt at inflated prices. Salt smuggling became punishable by death. Why would a government kill people over salt? Because salt funded wars? Salt funded kings. Salt funded the state. Control salt. Control salt, and you controlled the population. Lose salt control, and revolutions followed. Venice. The salt empire Venice didn't become rich from trade alone. It became rich from salt monopolies. Venice controlled salt production across the Adriatic. It dictated prices. It crushed competitors. Salt profits financed ships, mercenaries, and banks. Venice understood something modern investors forget. Control the infrastructure of necessity, and wealth flows endlessly. Why gold couldn't compete? Gold failed where salt succeeded. Gold couldn't preserve food, couldn't sustain armies, couldn't prevent starvation. Salt extended life-enabled scale made cities possible. Gold was luxury. Salt was systemic. The fall of salt's power, SOA, changed. Refrigeration, industrial preservation, global shipping. Salt didn't become less important. It became invisible. And invisible necessities are the most powerful of all. Modern parallels. Salt was the oil of the ancient world. Today, we fight wars over energy, data, semiconductors, shipping routes, not gold. The lesson never changed. The most valuable asset is never the one people admire. It's the one they can't live without. Gold still shines, but salt still feeds the world. And the greatest mistake investors, governments, and empires make is chasing what looks valuable instead of controlling what's essential. Because history doesn't belong to those who own treasure. It belongs to those who control survival. Salt taught us that once, and the world forgot it. Until the next shortage.